Welcome back everybody to the Unrivaled Projectile NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode Series. Starting out our third season in the Dirt Series. Before I do anything though, I want to make sure that we turn this difficulty back to Legend. It is what you guys requested. Everything else is going to stay as before. My thoughts for now are we'll keep it on single stage races for the trucks as well as the Dirt Series. If you'd like multiple stage racing for the NASCAR sanctioned events, I will do that, but for now I'm going to keep it on single stage, maybe just for the hot seat races, but then we'll switch that back. So back out of the settings, and then we are going to get this short track car all set up. So we're going to go we got two short tracks back to back. I'm trying to decide, I guess it doesn't matter where we put aero people, or our suspension will matter a little bit, but that will be fine. Going to the next race, can slowly work on that a little bit. We can also add another we're going to hire Siri. She's going to give us a little bit of a, we can kind of place her wherever. For now we're going to put her at the long track car, just to try to get that ready in a few races time. My plan for right now is if there's a truck hot seat race for this season, we'll just lump that in with the episode, and we'll still do 3 dirt races so for each episode. So going to go to the event. It is a 98, 90, 87 car, so it should have really good speed here. May struggle some in the corners, but that hasn't been our weak point anyway. So going to do some practice and then head to qualifying. Alrighty folks, so ran consistently between 11 and 12 tenths off the goal time. I'm hoping this is accurate to that first place qualifying time, but we saw at the end of last season where it was not. So not practice, we want to skip to qualifying, and it does look like it's right in near that time, so probably looking at around a 10th to 15th place qualifying position, just depending on the lap that we run. But definitely think it's going to be a hard race here to go for that win. So, but I knew, especially if we went to legend difficulty again in the Dirt Series, that 3 wins incentive would be mighty hard. So not a bad lap here, actually my best lap so far, and it puts us in 17th, so a little behind what I thought we would be as far as qualifying. However, I think we will have a decent car and ready. So starting 15th, Would need to make up 14 positions to reach that goal position, but I don't think it's going to happen this time. We're just kind of along for the ride. I think the goal for the season is really just going to be good average finishes so that we can try to make it into the playoffs. So, and I believe it's only the top 8 drivers that make it into that, and then only if you get a win, kind of similar to how NASCAR is set up. So just going to try to gain as many spots as we can and hold on to them. Try not to make any mistakes here and qualify for those playoffs here. I think with the car that we have this season, we should be able to finally jump up off the bottom of the point standings. At least that's my goal. I hate sitting down there and 24th in the standings, but I think the much better car this season will help, especially when we compare our current car to the car that we had at the beginning of last season. Huge improvement there. So up into 9th, about halfway done here. We've probably got, we're going to be just outside the top 5 in terms of pace that's in the car. I'm giving it just about everything I got without messing up. We slid up there. I just gotta make sure not to lose that bottom, because I think we're in trouble there, and we're going to lose it right there. Slept too high. It's going to make this corner very difficult for us. So we're going to get pushed up the track. That is the trait of the AI at these dirt tracks. Is that if they get underneath you, they push you right out the line that at least I want to run. So we were able to work through it, kind of learn from past couple of seasons finally, and just stayed way out of the gas until they got by. Smacked the wall pretty hard there, but 2 laps to go. Smacking that wall kind of messed up the entry here, but we're not doing too bad. Tony Stewart is tearing it up. Season first and only about a quarter of a lap behind us. So definitely got some work to do before we can compete for that top spot. However, the car is definitely getting better. Bring it home in 7th place, and I think that gives us some hope for the season, as the car really wasn't anywhere near maxed out that race. The engine was pretty close, but not all the way. But suspension and aero could use some work still. So going to focus mainly on suspension, and then aero will get hopefully towards the end of the season to really be competitive. So move back to the main menu and go from there. Alright, so a 7th place finish gives us $7,600 put into the bank. Moderate driving gives us decent savings there, and we got an extra 17 fans there, so definitely starting to pick up in terms of how many fans we have. with the team, and we have our first truck race. So we get $2,500 for a top 25 finish, and that is for a top 25 or a 3-star ride. So going to go ahead and do that. It's at Texas. I do think I'm going to keep the video for these practice sessions. I'm going to try messing with some setups here as I try to learn the wheel, and then I'll try to, especially at first, try to talk through what I am thinking and feeling as I'm going about this. So it's definitely going to be a new experience. I haven't raced much on paved tracks. I've done a few quick races in the game, and we did a little bit in the Heat 4 race, and that has been about the extent of my paved track racing on these sim wheels. So it's going to be something new to get used to, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. When I played these games on controller, I know I wasn't always the cleanest racer, but I think the wheel will definitely give me the ability to drive a lot smoother, and therefore be able to not be so rough on the cars around me. So we're about 12 tenths off, at least on that first lap. I'm riding right with the practice line, having to lift a little bit in the corner to get to turn, so may loosen the car up just a little bit, allowing the car to turn a little bit more, for those of you who don't know. So I can lift at the beginning of the corner here. That's going to allow me, it's going to cause me to lose some speed as we spin it out here. We'll bring into the pits if we can, maybe. So lifting going into the corner allows the car to put more of the grip of the tire into, as we wreck here again, that's alright, we're going to repair that damage. It allows the truck to put more of the grip of the tire towards rotating the car around the corner, rather than having the grip of the tire being used for the acceleration. So using the tire more for horizontal grip rather than front and back grip is a good way to think about it. So if we can kind of eliminate the need to lift into the corner, which we will likely jump back into the garage and make some changes there, we can allow ourselves to not have to lift, and that's going to keep our speed up through the corner and hopefully improve our overall time going around the track. So our current lap time is pretty bad, as we've had a couple of incidents and we had that pit stop. And I'll kind of try to show you guys what I mean by allowing the car to rotate, stuff like that. You kind of hear about the grip of the tire in sports such as like F1. but it's kind of unique with NASCAR with the banked corners and stuff like that. So, and there's some adjustments that we can make, more specifically because we are always turning left, so we can kind of tune the car to what we want so that we're consistent around this, consistent with our lap time. So rather than having to really focus on the aspect of like downforce or overall tire grip, such as in an F1 scenario, we can adjust the more your performance is coming from a setup aspect of what helps you drive the car the best. So I think we just ran the same lap time back to back there. Driving a little bit hot. So on this next lap, I'm going to go into the corner full throttle, and then it'll allow you guys to kind of see how the car can't hold it wide open right now. So I'm starting to lose traction there, and it just slowly goes up the track. Versus, and it's going to even do that at different lines. So I can run a little bit higher. That's not too bad. And 3 and 4. 3 and 4 probably has a little bit different banking than that of 1 and 2. It's not uncommon for different for the two ends of the track to have different banking from each other. But again, I ran that wide open, and it's slowly sliding up the track where what we'd consider the car to be tight. So it's not allowing the car to rotate around well enough, and it's forcing us to slide up the track. Essentially the front end isn't turning as much as we would like it to, and it's forcing it to go up the track, and likely you're going to see that car move up the track towards the center of the corner, or like as we start to transition from turn 1 into turn 2, or even at the exit of turn 2. Kind of show you guys when I'm noticing the grip go away. So here we're good, and then right here is where we start to lose the car, and it really affects the car on the exit of turn 2 there. So I'm going to go to the garage, make some adjustments, and kind of talk through what I'm doing there. So I'm going to go into a custom race setup. So my first adjustment is going to be the wedge, not the ride height, but the wedge. This essentially changes the angle of the back tire, I do believe. So I'm going to try it about 5 clicks down. Some of the other stuff that I'll probably eventually try to adjust. We can mess with tire pressures. That will come in a little bit later. I'm sure we'll get to that point where we can kind of talk about that. And then I'll also mess with the track bars. That's about all I know how to really mess with to help the car. But
okay, get back in there. Let's go.
It does well enough. Now, as I have never run a full career mode on Legend difficulty, I may start to dabble into some of those adjustments, do some research, see what different adjustments will do for the car, so hopefully we can run a little quicker. So hopefully that wedge adjustment does the trick here. Otherwise I'll have to mess with the track bars. So having to lift there. It's later in the corner though, so good progress. I think 3 and 4 we can hold wide open. That's not going to be the problem. Let me try lifting a little bit in 1 and 2 this time around and see where we're at there. Still getting tight on the exit of the corner. I'm not sure if you guys can see that there. Not as bad as before, but we also had to partial throttle it towards the center of the corner. So a little bit quicker time there, getting closer. Lane 2. We're also in that middle line, which I'd like to be able to get away from. So I'm going to head back to the garage and I'm going to change. I'm going to go up on the track bars. Let's go an inch a piece. From my experience, it's best to always move the track bars together, and this should also allow the car to turn a little bit better, or loosen up the car, is a term that you'll hear me, other drivers, if you watch NASCAR, the announcers, you'll hear them use that term. To loosen the car up. So now the danger of a loose car, or too loose of a car, is as you're going through the corner, you'll have a lot of grip in the front end of the car where we're steering. We can get through that corner much better. Still a little tight towards the center of the corner, so still some adjustment that needs to happen there. But the danger of a loose race car is the back end will start to slide out and actually slide up the track, which can be very hard to save, and it can get away from a driver very quickly and almost be too far gone before the driver even notices that the car is stepping out on them. I mean, the back end is sliding out. So getting better times. I'm going to, once we get through this corner, I'm going to try to give you guys a different camera view. We're having to get way out of that. So definitely want to make some adjustments to the truck still, as still not quite where we want it to be. Having to get out of the gas quite a bit. We can't really run different lanes at all. So I'm going to try to show you here. Not super familiar with this camera view, so bear with me. You can kind of see how, especially when we get towards the center of turns 1 and 2, the truck wants to, it's almost like a box in a way, and it makes it harder to get to rotate. It's kind of why I'm letting off throttle, is to allow it to rotate more. So yeah, let me jump into the pits. 3 and 4 were pretty okay, but in 1 and 2 we're still struggling a little bit, and we might not get it perfect. That's not what we want. We want to back. I don't want to save that. Alright, so I'm going to go to, I'm going to go up a ½ an inch on each of these. I'm also going to go down on the wedge some more and save it. We're still about
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
about a second off the goal time for practice. I'm thinking this will be the last little adjustment that we make, even if it's not perfect. I'm noticing that I've spent about 17 minutes in practice, so don't want to make the episode too long, and so even if this isn't perfect, I think it should be a lot closer, as long as we didn't adjust things too far, and we'll be really close to where we want to be. So the other thing that we can kind of look at with setups is, as the tires wear, the right side tires especially will kind of tell us a story about how our car is set up. So if our right front is wearing more than our right rear, it usually means that the car is set up too tight. Especially with the heat games, the right front tire will just fall off a cliff in terms of percentage, and we'll probably see that more in a race scenario. Versus right now, I'm actually set up, looks like a little bit loose. It's leaning on the right rear more, causing it to wear more. So we are running a looser setup here to try to get the truck to turn a little bit better. So I'm going to go back to the garage, and let's see here. I want to make a slight change, and then we'll head to qualifying. I'm going to go quarter down there and 2 clicks up on the wedge. Still going to be a little bit tight, but we should be pretty okay there. I know we're still a second off there, but I think we should be somewhat competitive in the race. So get the speed here, and yeah, I'll try to talk through some of the setup stuff, especially for those guys, for you guys who don't really know what's going on behind the scenes of NASCAR, or even who are just getting into NASCAR. I know for me personally, that extra knowledge helps me enjoy the sport more than if I didn't understand what was really going on. So, not a bad lap from us here. Still fought tight in 1 and 2 still, and even so a little bit in 3 and 4. But we have a 29th starting place, not even last. We'll have 4 spots to make up in the race. Make that 3 spots to make up in the race. And we'll go ahead and head on to the race. It's going to be a few more laps than the Dirt Series. It's a longer amount in general, but we do have longer laps here in the Truck Series races. So 19 laps. We currently have 12 laps of fuel, so we'll have to pit, as you guys kind of saw in practice. That could get very interesting if we have to pit under green, because I'm still getting used to playing on wheel and having to maneuver everything. So we got tight, really tight off 4 there, and we just DNF'd apparently. So well, that's no good. So I guess I'll meet you guys back at the main menu. Alrighty guys, all that set up just to be out in 1 lap of the race. So not how we won our first hot seat in the truck to go, but I definitely think there will be some better tracks for us throughout the course of the hot seat races. So moving on to Drebin, going to set up this short track car. We are also going to upgrade our couple of aero specialists, get those up to 10s. It'll give us a little bit more to work with here. Also I'm going to try, nope, can't do the same with our suspension specialist, so we'll be alright there. Going to have really good car for Eldora, which is good. We'll have a 100, 90, 95. We may even be able to, no, probably not. So just auto assign the rest of the people and see what we can do at Drebin. I'll jump into practice, record qualifying in the race, and then we'll, yeah, I'll see you then. Alrighty, so I ran right around the 9/10 mark off of the goal time, but that practice time is close to qualifying time.
Let's go.
Going to guess around 10th place for our qualifying. Hopefully that sets us up well for in the race. Feel like we might be able to dive down low here at this track, especially on the start of the race. Not a very good time there, puts us in 18th. I couldn't get the car to rotate for whatever reason, so if we would have run roughly what we were running in practice, what was it? I think we would have been within the top 15 for sure. We were in a, yeah. starting in 17th. I'd like to get at least a top 10 in this race. I think we've got the speed.
Time to go.
But again, consistency is what's going to truly matter throughout the season if we want to have a chance at the championship this season. So we're up near 10th already. And I don't know, I feel like the AI in general have qualified really well here lately, but our race pace is quite a bit better than theirs, so we'll just kind of have to see throughout the course of the season where we end up. Definitely not hanging on to first yet. I think we probably need a little bit better suspension there. Maybe even get the aero up, but more focused on the suspension side of things for us to be up near first place. So, however, we are able to see the results here. So we get a good bump from right, and we're now going in the middle of battle. The impact that the AI have over our car on any of these small bumps is so significant, where it doesn't seem so much to them. However, we just kind of have to deal with it. Running right back down for first, not anymore. So we get moved up out of the way once again. Again, 7th is our, or not 7th, 10th is really a goal, but I feel like we've got the pace to run around 5th. We're just getting shoved up out of their way. So we were able to get up to 5th and pass him quite cleanly. He just pulled the kind of over-under on us and shoved us up out of the way. So I don't think we'll get back up there to, especially not with 2 to go, to try to compete with that. 7th, however, is where we finished last race. He's right in front of us. We're going to try to get there for consistency's sake. So ran up high there. It's going to be alright. I think we're going to be able to bring it home in 7th, as long as we don't get shoved up. We do finish 7th again, so we even get a 101 speed rating there, so definitely improving. So let's see here. Let me skip forward. We're in 5th overall in the standings. Tony Stewart has 2 wins, so I believe the cutoff is 8th to make it into the playoffs on no wins. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on in this season, is try to maintain that top 8 standing in the points. So move to the main menu and prep the car for the next race. $4,000 put into the bank. Pretty decent savings there, especially in terms of our engine. We get an extra 8 fans, and we're going to prep the car for Eldora. So something I want to check, it is, come on, what did I do? For the playoffs, it is the top 8 drivers. So we're sitting okay right now. Definitely I'm going to need to stay more consistent, but that's the goal overall anyways. So wherever we are able to put Doreen on the engine there, be perfectly okay. And we're going to have our best car yet for Eldora, and likely a good car as well for the race at Charlotte, which has been a really good track for us here lately. I do want to try to upgrade Aaron here, so let me see here, because we're kind of hurting in the aero department as far as getting these cars turned around. So that is going to set us up a little bit better there. But definitely need to get her upgraded there. So we've got 2 employees here. We're going to, let's see here, let's go ahead and apply them to the road course car. Actually we'll no, we'll apply them to the short track car. So hopefully we have a better one heading into Texas when that comes around. So need 3 straight wins to complete the incentive contract. Not likely to happen there, but we'll try our best. Got some good tracks coming up for us, and I'll do some practice and then we'll head to qualifying. Alrighty, so I was able to get within, what is that, 6.5 tenths of the goal time. So going ahead to qualifying and see what we can pick up. Expecting, as long as we can put in a good lap, about a 10th place qualifying position. Not expecting too much more than that, maybe even a bit lower than that, but I do think that we will still be fairly competitive here in the race, even with the legend difficulty. That best lap in practice, that's not a great lap. Let's put us in 15th. We ran our best lap here so far in practice, so yeah, 13 places up in the first. Bit of a long shot here. Again, the main thing is to run consistent, so goal place of probably about 5th, depending on where the pace in the car is. But we will see. I think we're going to have decent pace. We do have that 100 overall engine, and so far we are able to show it. Now, the good thing about this format is the fact that even if we are not the most competitive all season, if you get a win before the playoffs, we do make it into the playoffs automatically. So a win here could be huge for us in terms of being able to run a little bit more comfortably throughout the season. So we may, if it looks like we're going to be able to, we are going to be driving the absolute wheels off this car to try to win this race. Little racing incident there with, was it 27? Nothing to really say about either of us, but now it's just going to be about consistent lap times, no mistakes as we are in the lead. And yeah, just need to stay in front of these, really that group of cars that we can see in our mirror. Looks like they are battling, which is good for us. Keep it out of the walls. Don't run up the track too far. Don't run it down by the inside wall too far so we hit it. And we'll be a-okay. Again, consistency's the only goal here. So, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I am getting out of the gas more than I probably usually would to make sure I'm not hitting the wall, because that's about the worst thing that could happen to us right now. Hitting that wall absolutely kills speed. So yeah, that would really be our only downfall. So 2 to go here. Those, especially second place, is starting to catch us here, but I think as long as we run well in this last lap, we should be able to hold them off. Ran a bit high, but we're going to get the drive off. One last corner here. I think the caution really helped us out, but we are going to win it here again at Eldora, kind of becoming our little playground in both the hard and legend difficulty alike. Go ahead and switch the camera modes like we did, and we about flipped it again. Can burn it down here. Won't do that for everyone, but that is a huge victory for us. It solidifies our place in the playoffs, and if we can do well in the playoffs, that shows that we can go out and win a championship this season in the Dirt Series. So especially, we should have an even better car heading back to Eldora later this season for the championship, which will be huge for us. So we're going to bring it back on home and close out the episode. $8,500 extra dollars to our name, $11,000 in the bank, 22 fans, and we get smooth driving, which saves the car even more. That could end up being huge further down the road. And so we've got contracts available. Likely we could sign with a 5-star ride, which it looks like we can next year if we really wanted to. But at this point, I think we're better off just sticking with what we have. So, right now, I think we're going to just sit on the 11,000. Because I'm not really sure what to do with that at the moment. So, we'll worry about that next season, or next episode rather. We are solidified into the playoffs with that win, and it's going to be more about surviving through that first round of the playoffs to make it to Eldora, because there is Jefferson in there. However, Charlotte is also in there, so hopefully we can do well enough to maintain our position in the playoffs. So that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Huge episode for us there, getting the win even with the legend difficulty. Definitely starting to work our way to the top. So yeah, likely back either tomorrow or the day after with a NASCAR Heat 4 series mode, unless you guys let me know that you'd rather just stick with the Heat 5 career mode until we catch a little lull, in which case we can go to Heat 4 or start integrating those in. But that is what I will plan on. So everybody have a good day, and we'll see you in the next one.